Alright guys, so we finally got the hose out. Man, what a freaking nightmare. BMW, you dropped the ball on this one. So this is a piece of the aluminum hose, as I showed you before, and this is the very corner piece. It's nothing special. It's just a standard piece of radiator hose. It's not thick, it's thin, just like a standard hose. And you can see where I've been cutting it with the Dremel and the cutoff tool. Now, I first cut off this piece. Ordinarily that'd be enough to release a clamp, but no, not in this situation. Then I went back and I cut off that little knob, and this bang was still clamped so freaking tight you couldn't even push it off. I had a pry bar just trying to push it off just so I could pull the hose off. Wouldn't do none of that. And I started this procedure yesterday with the Sawzall. Well, the problem with the Sawzall was, even with the demolition heavy metal blade, it wouldn't even scratch this thing. So it's some kind of super hard spring steel. The trick of it is you gotta be so careful not to cut through the rubber enough where you cut the aluminum pipe. And luckily we didn't do that. So I think we're good to go. I'm gonna try to find an elbow here of standard issue radiator hose. We're gonna put this back on with standard clamps. I'll get you in the shot first. That'd probably help, wouldn't it? So basically we're gonna go and reassemble this car. This should fix our coolant leak problem, and this was spraying from the end up here, spraying up on the turbo. So that being said, we'll be back in a little bit and we'll try to get this worked out. Okay, so we cut a piece of hose. This should work. It's just a hair longer. That's fine. We got plenty of space to push it up on the pipe. And we'll probably go ahead and just double clamp it where it goes onto the aluminum pipe, which that end's a little bit smaller. And we have a formed end here that is formed just like this one, exactly the same size, that goes on the pump. So let's go for the install, and hopefully this takes care of the problem, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right guys, so we got her all reassembled. Let me get underneath here so you can see what's going on. We have the bolts on the thermostat from the pump. We have the pump bolts in the block. We have our U-shaped hose in, and up here is where we did the work. We have our, maybe you can see it, we have our two clamps. We have a double clamp on that hard aluminum pipe. Probably want to have to do that, just want to make 110% sure. And then we have our other clamp, probably can't see it, that goes right there on the pump. So this thing better not leak, because I'm getting tired of messing with it. That's pretty much everything. I can't imagine something else leaking. Nothing else looks that bad. This U-shaped hose is kind of soft, but I don't see any leaks or anything in it, so we should be good. That being said, we're going to go ahead and probably put some coolant in it here, start it up, and see what we got. Alright, so we're up and running here. Got the lid, I'll probably put it back on here in a second. Just making sure all the air gets out of there. I'll put that on now. You can still see a lot of sparklies in that coolant though. A lot of stop leak. We don't have the fan on. We don't have this air duct on. You know, we're just kind of running long enough to open the thermostat. I see it's got one droplet right there. Another droplet. Another droplet. What in the hell? Well, let's get underneath of it and see what's going on. Alright, so here we are, we're under the car. You can see there's a slow drip. I tightened the clamps down again just to see if it's going to slow it down. Hopefully that's all it was. Flip the cardboard over. It's the tiniest of drips after I tightened it up. But before, it wouldn't leak till you boost it a little bit and it just come pouring out. We don't have a temperature gauge to go by. Let's just see what that did. Still the same. I don't know. We'll let it run for a little longer and come back and recheck everything. Looks like the drip's pretty much decided. Hopefully just the clamps weren't quite tight enough, but I don't like that. It shouldn't be dripping at all. We're running about 10 minutes and look at the drip. That's not gonna work. So I can look up above here and I can see, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, it's not dripping above the pump at all. I don't think you guys can see that. It's like it's running out of the housing possibly. There's a drip starting off of that, off of the plug. Is that a fracture in the pump? It's not the hose above it. And now we got another one coming down from above it. There's nothing above it at all leaking. Well, Micah's not going to be very happy. We're going to have to buy a pump for this damn thing. But it looks like that's what's going to have to happen. It looks like our hose up here is all doing really good. No problems with that at all. Before that was spraying out of the back of there, spraying out up on the turbo like a mist. I don't know, guys. I don't know how the pump, why the pump be leaking at that point. To have a stretch fracture, it almost would have had to get either pulled on real hard or frozen. It's scary. I don't know, maybe we'll show them this video and it's dripping faster now. You can see it's all wet around the housing. I can still see above it, and there is nothing dripping above it. It's got to be that damn pump.